Hello, welcome to Friday's edition of Journalist Hangout. I am Dakbo Aruwa Joye. Today on the program, Buhari promises a better Nigeria and PDP crisis deepens as Sheriff insists Malkafi must resign. And Nigerian troops to comb Sambisa forest. I'll be joined by Shola Ojewusi, Charles Ideho, and Bola Olajuwon. Journalist Hangout starts now. President Muhammadu Buhari is fast responding to the yearnings of Nigerians sooner than imagined. He also assured Nigerians that despite the current challenges, the nation will be great again under his watch. He also reiterated his commitment to ensuring the safety of lives and property in the country. Buhari said although change could not come on a platter of gold, his administration would do its best to deliver on the promise of change. A reassuring one there from the president. Any hope of light at the end of the tunnel? And that's a big question there. I will put that to the gentlemen in the studio. I told you I have Charles there. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Shola Ojewusi, thank you very much for joining us. And Bola Olajuwon, thank you also for being present. Let me start with you, Charles.
Yes.
What do you think? A lot of promises there. The president sounds pessimistic. What do you think?
Pessimistic?
Optimistic, sorry.
Okay. First of all, let me say it's a good thing because when you look at the entire system, there's general despondency. People are beginning to think twice whether they actually voted right. A lot of people are crying that the system is not working, money is not circulating, and the rest of it. But that's on the one hand. On the other hand, talking is one thing, and then matching the talk with concrete action is another, which is what the people will want to start seeing. Because it's taking us nearly, more than 1 year now where we are. And people expected that this government that came with a lot of goodwill, a lot of promises, by now we ought to have been seeing, some semblance of activities, yet towards the positive aspect of growth. But again, we're still faltering, which I believe that the government had to really settle down to face the business of governance, so that people can begin to take home certain things that they can applaud the government for. And what the government should do is that let's look at it sectorially. The urgent thing I believe the government should do right now is to look at the power sector, and then look for creative ways, creative means to inject ideas, fresh ideas into that system. For instance, if you can promise or you do certain things that can make us have power for about 16 unbroken, 16 hours, 16 unbroken hours a day. The informal sector can begin to look at how they can power their machinery. The pepper grinder can have power. The barber can have power. The vulcanizers and rest of them. If you have such for 16 unbroken hours every day, the economy on its own will pick up.
Because people will pump money
indirectly
into the
system. That's what I'm saying. Then when you also look at, let me also look at the issue of TSA. A lot of things have been said about TSA, the proprietary or otherwise of why government withdrew the money from the commercial. Well, it has happened, And the government has made a lot of money. This is not the time for us to be talking about saving. When you are faced with a recession, you don't talk about saving, you talk about spending.
You pump money
into the system. Now, if you want to, what you're supposed to do with that huge amount of money we're able to save for TSA, the government should begin to look at the industrial sector, maybe industrial banks, the microfinance banks, and then let them have access to this funds. To microfinance bank, let people have access to microcredits, so they can be able to use to run their system. And then the issue of what's the name of it? What you charge, the interest. It should also be friendly, so that then people will have some measure of hope that when they take money from here, they can inject into our business, and then we begin to smile again. Okay,
let me get the pulse of this gentleman also. The president sounds optimistic, but is he going to win the heart of a pessimistic heart as at this time? Because a lot of people are grumbling out there.
Okay, my own take is this. One, he promised to deliver some goodies to Nigerians. And on that basis, the Nigerian voters, they voted him.
Based on that promise?
Based on the promise. And Nigerian voters expect him to have put something on the table for them. Has he done anything at all? Fine, let's take it from some perspective. He spoke about accountability. He has done something about the issue of accountability, fighting corrupt people, making sure that he forced them to deliver the money they stole. Some have done that, and some are still in court. Fine.
But some will wonder why, if they have delivered the money, why are we still out there looking for money? Why don't we use part of the money?
Yes,
that's the big question.
Yes, that is the big question. Now, yeah, let me just take it from that perspective. Then the issue of security, has he done anything about the issue of security? Fine. The military, they've won most of our territory taken by the Boko Haram insurgents. Fine. But they are yet to enter the Sambisa forest. And according to what military experts are saying, we don't even have the equipment to enter that place. The first time they did, they came back.
We'll talk about Sambisa forest. We still have that.
No,
but let's talk
yes.
talk about what Charles said. At least deal with power first.
Okay, fine.
Give us light.
Look, let me tell you, my brother, as at today, we don't have the facility to generate power for 16 hours. And I can tell you, now if you have light for 2 days, you will start calling your neighbor. And you will start calling them yourself that, look, hope nothing is going to go wrong.
But funny enough, I've experienced light for some few hours.
Yes,
I have
yes.
My
Even in my area.
In my area.
Yes,
we
in my
have
area.
almost every day.
I live in Aguda. Okay, for some days now we've been having light.
And you are worried.
Are you worried?
I'm worried. My brother, I'm worried.
Bola.
No, let's
Why?
be sincere
Because
because I know we don't have the facilities.
Even in the house itself.
Yes, no. What I'm saying, we don't have the facilities to generate, to sustain it, to make it, consistent. Let me tell you, if you have it for 2 days, 3 days, by the time you hear "Bwah," I'm telling you your area, that means maybe something, just knock out
Maybe the
from the
transformer.
transformer. Look, before they will come and, repair it, it will take some days. Then we are not talking of the power, facilities generating the so-called power or the lights. How do we maintain them? How do we sustain them? We don't have that as at today. And people are saying that, look, we should make use of nuclear energy. We should make use of, other form of energy, not necessarily, the thermal that we are known for, or, the so-called gas, because, of the upsurge in militancy activities in the Niger Delta. Now, my brother, the truth of the matter is that though Nigerian expects, the president to do something about the issue of power, but let's be realistic with ourselves. It will take a little bit time. That is that. But the issue of the economy, my brother, see, what Nigerians want now is food on their table. The government or the president has been able to retrieve money from looters.
Yes,
what are we doing with the money? I'm sorry. It's not possible for us just to be spending money. We know that some people signed. Some people, said, look, I stole this. And they agreed that they stole. It's not an issue that, look, this thing is before a court. That the court will say that, look, the money you took from, so-so and so-so, go and return the money to the person. And most of the houses, we know that, they are products, of looted funds. What we are saying is that, as at now, Nigerians are crying.
I know, it's definitely. What do you think, Shola?
Yeah.
How did you receive that message?
Well, I think sometimes ago on this program, we actually raised the issue of confidence. Like Nigerians have really lost, there is a lot of complaints going on around the nation. People are really, disappointed. There is a lot of grumbling. And we were talking about the leadership of the country stepping forward to reassure us. To give us the impression that we really have a government in place.
And this is the kind of reassurance you're talking about?
Well, somehow, it's a good step, because if everything is going so bad and we don't have the leader coming up to exude some level of confidence, then it's very bad. In 1929, during the American Depression, it was terrible. People were even committing suicide. People losing a lot of money, lifetimes of savings crashing. But the president, Roosevelt, came out and he was able to calm a lot of frayed nerves. He was able to assure the American nation that, yeah, we agree there is a recession, but we have a rendezvous with destiny. We have a future that is better. These are the things, but he didn't stop with just assuring. He came up to mention, to give a lot of things, I mean, the different steps that will be taken by the government to make sure that this depression is destroyed, or it's, I mean, the problem is alleviated. Now, the president has come out rightly, President Buhari has come out to say, okay, we acknowledge there is a problem, and I want to assure you that it's going to be better. But while saying that, they should have it at the back of their mind that it is the economy. It is, like my colleague rightly said, the food being on the table of the people. What are the steps? I heard something today, I don't know, because I didn't really get the policy direction of the government on that, that part of the agricultural policy of the Jonathan administration is being reviewed or revisited by the government. If they did that, maybe based on political consideration, that maybe the realities of the times have now given them the need to go back to that. If that's going to help us, because we have been a mono economy, we've depended so much on the oil, what I can call oil problem. Now, if we have to go back to agriculture, at a point, everybody was praising the agricultural policy of the past government, in spite of all. Everybody was praising the minister in charge then, additional. So we want to see things that will bring food. People are hungry. And how do you, like the Yoruba will say, what manner of word are you going to give to a man, whose child has been eaten by a lion or whatever? You have to, you have to do better than just saying, well, the country is. So I think let us see concrete steps being taken. We've been having a lot of monetary policies that's really making it very difficult for us to even have a stable naira. Do a lot of things, let people see that you are on top of it, and then they will take you seriously.
Okay. What do you think? Because this monolithic kind of economy we're running, and it mentioned depression there. It rhymes with, what's it called now? What are we now? A recession. Recession and depression rhymes. But because I was listening to somebody this morning, was saying, hope this recession will not lead to depression for the people. And how soon do you think the president and his team, the economic team, should move into action so as to revive? Some people will say it's not the blame of the present administration. This is inevitable. We saw it coming. So what do we do about it now?
Well, for me, I think I will state here that, excuse me, the time has come for us to put aside the blame game. We all knew what the past administration did to our economy, to our national life. We all knew that. It's public knowledge, even to secondary school children. So we've gone beyond that. We should go beyond that point now and move forward, because we all knew where they were taking us. They were taking us into the woods. That's why we voted them out. Now we have given a mandate collectively to the president and his party that promised a lot to take us out of the way to destruction, and then redirect us to the Eldorado that we all desired. We should be seeing a president leading us, and when you are leading, we should be seeing some semblance of activities geared towards moving to that angle where it's positive. Now, take a look at the industrial sector. Most of these big countries companies are closing down the funds. I mean, right? This could be a form of supplementary budget to National Assembly for us to look at how we can build these airlines, build the banks, build the ailing industries out, so that we don't continue to lose employment. Because people are losing employment, that will cause depression. Do you know how many people? I mean, I just read, I don't know whether it's right. Somebody committed suicide and wrote a note to say he died because of the no change comments of Buhari. When it comes to depression, it's when people start taking their lives. But we are entering into that gradually. We are all hoping that we shouldn't get there. Even though we are at this threshold, we shouldn't get there. So the government can rescue the country from that threshold of going into depression by looking at how you can push money into some of this risk sector so that people can begin to have a semblance of life. the industrial sector, we have to look at that to know how we can build them out. Again, when people talk about agriculture, using agriculture as a platform, what people always think about is food. Agriculture is more than food. It's just an integral part of the whole sector. Look at the cotton, for instance.
Cash crops.
Cash crop. Look at cotton. Cotton, we have enormous cottons in this country that we can grow. When you look at the issue of cotton, for instance, for the textile industry, do you know how many jobs you're going to create by people planting cotton? What about when people who are harvesting it? Do you know how many jobs you're going to create? People who are doing the spinning, and then you talk about the yarn and the rest of them. We don't have to go to India or China to be importing yarn for our local industry. So all these things we have to boost the industry back. Take a look at the dairy industry. I mean the confectionaries. I'm appalled that even we have flour mills in these countries, we are still importing baking powder and baking cream. When we have all these things here, wheat and rest of them. So that's the one to look at. So the government have to look at it. When we're talking about agriculture, you look at these sectors so we can inject money into. They can help to boost employment back, and the people will be depression I'm talking about will be we can contain it.
But do we have that patience that because we're talking about and you know cash crops, maybe the least will take maybe
cotton is 1 year.
1 year. Do people have 1 year to wait for? Because we're talking about ASAP as soon as possible.
See, let's be truthful to ourselves. Nigerians are not ready to wait for anything.
I tell you.
Look, we should not forget about one thing. Buhari still has a lot of goodwill from Nigerians. I'm telling you the truth.
Because they are,
they
are hopeful.
They are still very hopeful. Look at what happened in the case of, when Jonathan increased the fuel price. People came out.
The country almost burned down.
Then the governors look at it. I remember very well. Niger State Governor Babangida Atenare, he said, look, we were the people that called this man that, look, you must call the military house. Even because of that.
Jonathan did that after a while.
Yes,
do you think if Buhari will increase another fuel now?
No, don't
like people.
He has done that. He has done that
already.
He has done that. That is the more reason I'm still telling you that this man still has a lot of goodwill. But the issue is this: what about the party that brought him to power? Is it possible for APC, if there should be any problem now, is it possible for APC to stand for an election and still win? That is what the party should be looking at. This matter is not about Buhari. Buhari was invited. They used Buhari as a unique selling proposition to get to power.
But what about if the states, like the governors, then now do like, for example, Lagos, I'm not selling Lagos. Apparently, Lagos is doing a little bit of this and that, turning things around. What about if the changes come from within? From the states, the local governments? Wouldn't it permeate to other sectors or other communities or thereabouts?
See, let's look at it. The grassroots that is closer to the people. Look, the local governments don't have power. They are powerless.
Appendages of the state government.
They are appendages, of the state government.
Okay, let's come for the state then. What about the states?
The states, things are so bad in the states too. The states that, they are waiting, for federal allocation. The IGR, we can only talk of Lagos. I can, something reasonable from Ogun as a result of industrial setup in Ogun State. How many states out of, the 36 states we have that can boast that, look, if federal allocation should stop now, they can stand on their own? It's not possible. And look, to see that things are worse, I'm telling you, I don't know about this establishment. My own newspaper, we are being owed a lot of, adverts, money from adverts, unpaid adverts. Then, so also other, people, other stakeholders complaining about state government. Contractors are being owed.
Because the adverts, because they are not selling anything. So what would they use?
So what would they to pay the
adverts?
Why are they placing the adverts?
They have to do it, and they
place the advert when they place the advert and they refuse to pay the money.
Maybe they are hopeful.
They are also hopeful.
No, but me, I'm not hopeful.
I must add.
Can I quickly take Martins and I'll come to you?
Okay.
Sorry about that. Martins, good evening. Good evening, Martins. If you hear me now, just keep on talking because I think there's a delay in this communication.
There's a problem with the connection.
All right then. Okay, try and call back then. I didn't interrupt you.
I was just saying that, well, the buck stops on the table of the president. But like we're talking about the states, they have to learn, because it has reached a situation where states will learn how to get out of being tied to the apron strings of the presidency. They have to be creative, because it doesn't stop with the presidency or the federal government. They also have to, Lagos, every day, you don't want to praise Lagos, but it's just the reality. Every day there are innovations coming up. Lagos is trying to to prosper for oil. They're trying to bring a lot of things, tourism. The states must have a rethink. There is a limit to which they can always go cap in hands to the federal government. Look at ways of boosting the IGR. Look at ways of getting your own local economy working. So that at the end of the day, there are a lot of resources. For instance, Osun State is trying to go back to the old cocoa. There was a time I traveled into the Osun.
Can we try sugar? Sorry. I have sugar on the line. That's why
Sugar, okay.
Sugar. Sugar from Osun. Not cocoa. Good evening, Sugar.
Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Sugar. I'm calling from Edo State.
Wonderful, Sugar. From Edo.
Yes.
All right. Can I go on?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
you
We're
can
waiting
go.
for you.
All right. I just want to appreciate CVC Continental. You guys are doing pretty well.
Thank
Thank you.
Before now, I have this apathy about watching the television, but I've realized I've been missing a whole lot. I want to appreciate the gentlemen in the studio. They've all said it all.
Thank you.
You're always on point with your guests.
Thank you.
I pray that the recession won't lead to depression.
Amen.
As soon as the government does what the people in the studio have said. I want to also close by telling you that for the past 4 days in my area, light has not gone off, and sometimes I see something unusual has happened.
Are you
Sometimes
worried?
I'll go to my generator and see if it's still
Wow.
there. So I just pray that the tempo will be sustained. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, Sugar. All right, then I interrupted. You're talking about cocoa.
Yeah, what I'm just saying is that states should get creative. They should look inwards. If there are, some state, like I know in Nasarawa, you're talking of certain solid minerals. Look at how you can harness what you have, even though this thing belongs to the federal government, but there are ways in which you can create something around your own interest beyond having to depend entirely on what comes from the federal government.
I was thinking one time that is this not a blessing for us, because if you have cash crops like cashew,
Yes.
cocoa, even charcoal, it's not a crop, but
No.
if you have something
Yes.
like export commodities like that, it's not going to be to our own benefit, because we will charge the global index, whatever the yardstick, maybe like in dollars. If you sell our things for dollars now, is that not a blessing for us?
It is a blessing. Let me look. Cote d'Ivoire does not have oil. Do they have oil? Maybe now that Ghana has, and Nigeria. I mean Lagos. Along the coastal plain, maybe they may be thinking of something. But they've been depending on cash crops.
And it's giving them money.
Cotton and cocoa. And, Ivory Coast is still a viable country. They have survived even a civil war, despite all the problems. So it shows that if our states, our regions look beyond oil, look at what they have inwardly, and see how it can be harnessed, then there is a kind of system put in place by the federal government, has been existing for years, the Export Promotion Council, a lot of policies. It's just a question of
tinkering with it.
So we have to go beyond the white paper fantasy that has been the bane of our nation.
Charles,
let us get more realistic about our resources.
Did you get an analysis of mine? If you have or such, and with the power we have, talking about the land, talking about the people, the people who want the dollar now to, because at the end of the day, when we have everything we're exporting apart from oil, that won't be a bad idea.
Look, Dabo, if we begin to export our agricultural produce, we'll earn much
We earn much.
We will not earn much. I tell you why.
But the cash crops go.
But they are part of the agricultural process I talked about. When you export cocoa raw, that's raw material. It is crude, just like crude. Crude will not earn you anything.
What about the
value chain?
You turn into like chocolate or something.
Yeah, what about the value chains? You export what other crop, right? See, the thing we should be talking about is talking about production. For instance, our GDP now is dependent solely on consumer goods, which no economy can survive on consumer goods. I mean, contributing to the GDP.
Do you know how much Dangote has lost of recent? So did you know?
Yes, of course. I read about it. Yes.
Yeah, so, like 35%.
Exactly.
Or 15.
Yes. So what should we be talking about?
That's a whole lot of money.
If we are looking to earn more money from a non-oil product, we should be talking about production. Let's produce this product here.
But that's if we have light.
No, we will have like, I mean, somebody just come from Benin there for 4 days. In my place where I live, humble place around New Okoba area in Lagos. I mean, sometimes I'm not boasting. We have light for up to about 14 hours every day.
But some people will say, don't mind,
so
it's because of the rain.
The water level is high.
Yes, it's
whether is high or not, if we have water level high and then we produce more during this rainy season, we have something to fall back when the water level goes down.
Hi, good
so
evening,
it's a matter
Abdullah.
of being creative.
Good evening, you're calling from Kano.
Hello?
Hello, Abdullah, good evening.
Evening, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Your contribution, please.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is my first time of you picking my call. I'm enjoying every bit of what you are doing.
Thank you so
my
much.
contribution is that the state of the nation, everything is down. Everything is down. But we are in a situation whereby for the past 5 years or 6, from Portesco up to Baga, nobody is planting. And this region is the #1 that is producing red beans. What? Because of the Boko Haram attack, the food is scarce. And up to now, only if you are able to go back to the farm. Many people are talking about hunger. But we people now, let me say, only if you are farming, even in the remaining region of the country. So
Abdullah, have you started planting also?
Understand this thing, I beg.
Abdullah, have you started planting?
To push everything inside.
Okay, thank you so much, Abdullah.
So,
I thought as we round up on this, we have some few
let me also
seconds.
concerning the issue of state, I mean, generating any IGR. Mostly IGR are just from tax. People who you tax are people who will earn money. So the government, let's look at our constitution. Everything, the exclusive list is too heavy. Why would government, for instance, be talking about giving, federal government giving mining licenses? This thing should come to the state and local government.
Briefly, let me get the last day because we need to go on a short break now.
We have a lot of money flowing away into the pockets of people that ought not to be in charge of those funds from taxes. Some people, have taken the contract of, getting money, collecting taxes for local government, for state government. Where are the money going?
That's a big question.
Now, let me tell you.
But you talked about accountability.
I know it's not only a matter of accountability. Me, I'm telling you, see, go to local government, not only in Lagos, go to Ogun, go to Oyo, you will see people at the bus stops. Touts collecting money. Then instead of they will sell tickets for 15 naira, they end up, collecting money for 200. Where is the 150 going?
I wonder.
Well, the president has tried to assure us, but it should also go beyond assurance and do something about the harsh realities of
All right,
the time.
thank you, gentlemen. And when Journalist Hangout returns, Ali Modu Sharif gives further condition on ending PDP crisis. Stay with us. Welcome back. The factional chairman, national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ali Modu Sharif, has given fresh condition if the ongoing crisis in the party must be resolved. He said that the embattled caretaker chairman of the party, Senator Ahmed Malkafi, and the chairman of the party's Board of Trustees, that's the BOT, Senator Walid Jibrin, must vacate the seat before further talks on resolving the crisis in the party. he noted that while there was nothing like caretaker committee in the PDP constitution, the tenure of Senator Walid Jibrin as BOT chairman had expired. Hence, the urgency for the two to go. Gentlemen, where would this drama end? That's all we say. We talk.
The unending episode.
It looks like a series now.
What part are we now?
I don't know. Maybe season 2.
Season 2? Look at this coming season 2.
Maybe season 4.
Maybe season 4, 5.
It's a terrible situation.
It's laughable, but again, let's look at it more critically. Democracies all over the world survive based on the robustness of parties. It's parties that enhance the survival of democracy. But when you now have a system where a party has not been able to come up to organize itself, to put this out in order, I mean, it's fearful, because all we are talking about, we are going to have a one-party state that is not decreed to existence, but by the selfish nature of people who do not want to really want this to make this party work. Alun has come up with his conditions, and then the PDP set up a committee they called National Reconciliation Committee, headed by Governor of Bayelsa, Senator, what's his name? Seraki Dixon, and Ibrahim Matu. They accepted what Sharif said, and what he was asking for was that let us organize, let us have let's have a meeting, okay? A National Executive Council meeting where he will be chairman. McAfee will attend as a BOT member. Then they can all sit down. Then they can set up committees, various committees that will talk about reconciliation, talk about organizing elections to fill vacant positions as well. And then the National Reconciliation Committee, they accepted. Only for us to hear that the BOT and the other, they are saying no, that McAfee has to continue, he has to set up a committee to go and conduct elections. So what I think what the BOT should do now, we have come to a crucible where they have to accept people who are, what I'm going to say is that most of them, they have to eat the humble pie, know that they have failed. There is need for them to re-engineer the party. How would they do that? Most of them who have this idea of being proud and the rest of them, we have to say, okay, let them bury their personal interests and get it as how do I say now, put it under the interest of the generality of the party, so that the party can move forward.
So what advice will you have for Sharif?
What advice will I have for Sharif? Sharif also has to shift ground. He has to also, because I think he is holding so tenaciously to his conditions, which will not work. Well, the party politics is about shedding weight, it's about compromises and the rest of them. You can't stand on particular ground and expect others to meet you over there. There has to be a middle ground. While he sheds weight, McAfee and his other people will shed weight, then they look for how they will meet or at a middle point so that they can move forward. The way we are now, democracy is going to suffer, because if we have a one-party state, they can run over, rush short over everybody, and it's not going to go for us.
But what do you think? We need that opposition, really. And you know, when the likes of Obasanjo were in the PDP, I think this kind of crisis would have been resolved one way or the other because of that leadership. Do we have people like that can mediate between these two people? It seems when two elephants fight now, the grass will suffer.
Yes. You see, the major problem is that PDP was a party that produced 3 presidents for 16 years. A substance, something like, some sort of, leadership hedge or a leader was there then at a particular point in time to beat them on the right path.
But we still have Jonathan there.
We have Jonathan. What is Jonathan doing? He's not coming out.
It's more out than in.
He's not coming out to say that, look, this thing must stop. Look, as the last...
Does he have that clout?
Yes, he has it if you want to maintain that. He made most of them. He elected most of them. He gave power to most of them. Look, the issue is that the case of Senator Jibrin is more aligned to Jonathan. But if I were Jonathan, I would come out and say, look, this party must not die. This must stop. Look, the way I'm looking at, and I don't want to believe, PDP is just like, the remain carcass of a dead animal that other people are coming to feast on the remaining, parts, the remaining flesh and the bone. You see, some people want to profit from what is happening to PDP now. But I don't want to believe that should be the end of PDP, because I want a situation whereby we can have, a viable, a very strong opposition that can, provide, solutions and policies.
That thing you said now takes me to that allegation that keeps coming, a recurring allegation that APC is the mastermind of what is happening.
I don't want to believe. I don't want to believe. See, I don't want to believe. Like, even, look, if you look at it, apart from the fact that Sheriff is from, the zone that produced the last authentic chairman of the party, tell me, why is he holding tenaciously?
So this is right.
It's right. As a party man, and from, the area,
who
voted him? How many people voted him?
People clamored for him. We had some governors.
That clamored for him?
Yes.
Why did they, back out?
That's a big question.
We should look at it. See, it's a good question.
We should be asking them.
See, who came up with the idea of, Ahmed Markafi? Who came up with the idea? See, if you look at it, it was few days before the convention, before the last one, in Port Harcourt, that, the government said, no, Fayose, back out.
Look, Bola, so
other people back out.
About McAfee, sorry. McAfee, let's set the record straight here. McAfee's mandate was not to chair the party. McAfee was brought in
for part-time.
To plan
for 90 days. His mandate, his tenure was not to plan an election to fill some vacant position. But how they came about caretaker chairmanship, caretaker committee? It's not in the constitution.
Okay, let me give it to Shoshola.
You know what? To me, I think it has reached a situation when we should call a spade a spade. There is a lot of infantile tendencies going around the PDP today.
Like
and
what?
It's a shame.
Like a breakup?
Let me tell you this.
Like a breakup?
Like
the leaders
you will see that one coming
are
up.
a disappointment. There is a kind of disconnect from a party that ruled Nigeria for 16 years. What did they learn in those 16 years? Does it mean that these people don't know how to really go beyond all these, their personal tendencies?
They measure the selfish personal
You know what?
tendencies.
Leadership is about give and take. One person is giving the devil's alternative. Any which one you are giving them is leading to the same problem. Why can't they really look at the future of Nigeria? What is at stake is patriotism, not personal interest. Why are these people not really determined to make sure that they have a party that will stand the test of time? Does it mean that all of them are so, uncultured in politics that we're still having this kind of problem? It's disheartening that a party, like you said, that produced three presidents still does not have a soul. It means that they were not prepared to be an opposition party. And it's a great shame to many of them. If they don't know it, let them know that they are putting a lot of technicalities, they're putting a lot of legal rigmaroles on the ways of unity. How can it work?
Okay, we're going to be. Let's do a conclusion now. Okay. There's Edo coming up. There's Ondo coming up. We've had the Edo, that was what we're discussing. Is Yamo the final candidate now? It seems like the final candidate. We have like Jimo Ibrahim coming out and Yitayo coming out in Ondo. That maybe the court will help us to understand who will be the candidate of the PDP. But do you think all these won't affect the turnout and even of the election?
Now, if you look at Edo right now, recently we heard about how many people have decamped from PDP.
Yes.
Because what they are saying is that the house that is not settled, they can't be assured of any future. They decamp, and whatever is happening now, it is APC that they are harvesting copiously from whatever is going on.
And I hope the APC is learning.
Oh, well, that's the thing.
The APC should be learning.
Produce about three leaders for 16 years. That's about 5 leaders 5 years per leader. It's a problem. That's to tell you that none of them has ever fought for national interest. It's all about parochial interest, about sectional interest, about personal and all these interests
But what's your take? Would this affect the
it's a
coming
problem
elections?
of building enduring institutions. We should be able to build institutions that we endure, that we, last, that, we outlast us. But PDP failed to realize, and I hope the APC is learning. That is my take.
Is the APC learning? That's a big one.
Well, you're talking about affecting the next election. If the house is built on sand, they shouldn't expect something. They shouldn't take anything out of this. If they don't get their house in order, then whatever happens, they should have themselves to blame.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Ola. We need to go on a short break now. When we'll come back, we'll continue with this gentleman in the studio. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us, please. Welcome back. Moving on, the Nigerian military is poised to take the battle to the Boko Haram insurgents. It has revealed intention to hunt down the remaining members of the SEC while ransacking some part of the dreaded Septembeer forest. The military said its decision is based on the information it received from some kingpins of the sect recently arrested and women rescued from the custody of the terrorists. Again, don't you think this is a sensitive issue, one that should be left out of the public domain by the military? And it's just, the question was just resounding in me. Why are you telling me you want to go into Septembeer? I thought you must have gone to Septembeer and told me yesterday we were in Septembeer and this is what happened.
Look, Dabo,
or the guys in the bush, do you think they don't have TV?
Look, if not for the sake of us, we have to discuss matter, I would have said, I'll just close up and go home. Because there's nothing here to discuss. Because the thing, what I would say is that those who are saddled with the responsibility of managing information, military information, should go back to school. Because when you talk about issue of public relations and then how can the military be releasing classified information every time to the enemy?
But some will say maybe they were not talking, now they are talking.
No. I'm not saying they shouldn't. When we are secured victory, you tell us. Not what you are going to do to secure victory. It's like you are giving your next plan to the enemy, and you expect the Boko to wait for you. Now they said that they have acquired the
information.
Certain things. I mean, this machine. I mean, the tools. The
thermal,
the equipment and rest of them for anti-mines and anti-IEDs resistant.
And you tell them.
Have done this one. You are telling them. So you have mines planted everywhere. You have IEDs everywhere. You are telling them, oh, we now have the machine that can resist them, and then we are coming at you. And what you are telling the enemy is that the enemy, okay, this is what we're going to do. Reposition yourself. They are going to change their strategies. So the military, like I said, those who are saddled with the responsibility of managing the military information must go back to school and learn to talk less and do more.
Maybe this is why we've been having information then or news that whenever the military wants to get to these people, you remember the story about the gas mask when they wanted to use sleeping gas. Yes. That wasn't something confirmed really, but there was another one later that the Boko Haram guy was saying, you guys are late now. We were expecting. They told us we were coming now.
See, if you look, we should be able to learn something from, the way the Americans got Bin Laden. See,
even Pakistan did not know.
They didn't know. Pakistan didn't know. They did all the underground information using intelligence, and they got the blood sample of Bin Laden children. Nobody knew. All this after they had already prepared themselves to go and get this guy down. The president was there with his key cabinet
watching.
They were watching
every move.
They knew that if this thing should fail, it would be the end of the administration. And at the end of the day, when they got this guy,
we got him.
The president came out and said, we got him.
We got him.
And people stood up and they started. And look, they should learn from that.
And they didn't even tell us where they dumped him.
So you didn't tell us today?
That remained a secret.
As of today, Nigerians should know, and the military should also know, that look, the leadership of the Boko Haram is already atomized.
But they will say Shekai is not there. Shekai, maybe it's his
let me tell you.
Shekai 1, Shekai 2.
He's a man with 9 lives.
9. And I think he's been dead like 4 times now.
Yes. He's dead. you know, like 4
No,
times.
I think
And then he's going to live again. He will live again for 5 times.
Look.
And they'll kill him
Dabo.
one by one. You understand me again?
The name Shekau, I think the name has become a franchise,
gentlemen,
if you ask me.
See, the issue is this. Please, I'm still on the floor. My brother, see, we should know something. Like, from the information we got, we learned that the Boko Haram command, they've moved from Sambisa, you know, to Borno. Now, they are no longer in Borno, Abi? Okay, fine, I agree. They said even the Sambisa forest
has been combed.
Yes, and even there's no way the military can enter the place with the machine, with, you know, the equipment that they have now. And not only that, you understand me? You see, you can't enter the place during a rainy season.
Yeah, it is the worst time.
Yes, and what do they want to go and do there?
They are mastered
and these people, and not only that, do you know, see, even a security...
Even when they needed water to drink, you know now, even, I believe I'm not a military expert, but I know the Boko Haram will be okay now.
They're so used.
During the rainy season. When it was hot, when there was no water, it would have been the best time. You go after them.
When there's no food, you go after them. When there's no water, you go after them. But now they have food, they have water. I don't know what the military want to go and do.
It could be a strategy, you know. The army could be sending out a strategy. So maybe the Boko Haram will start moving and they'll capture them somewhere.
Somebody was on a national television and said, look, they share the information with the military, but the military refused to go, make use of the information.
Martin, good evening. You're calling from... Hello, Martin, are you there?
Yes, I am.
You're calling from Lagos?
I am on the line.
Okay, good evening. You're live now. We're waiting for you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
We are talking about our soldiers going into Zambiza forest. Yes, my own take is this. Yes, I'm speaking. The issue is this. Our people, this is the way they behave. The police, hello?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Martins.
Okay. Call a policeman. Tell the policeman you have robbery somewhere. The policeman will be coming with the siren. Warning the people to take off. The thieves to take off. That's exactly the replica of what you are getting. They are announcing they are coming to Zambiza. Incidentally, my light has just gone off. I know I will continue speaking. Okay. The other point I want to talk about is the Modu Sharif issue. Modu Sharif is the financier. Everybody left, PDP on its own. He was the only one who was able to spend some money. He paid all the workers in Wadata House. He did quite a lot for PDP. Now that the PDP got back on his foot, they are now ready to take it over.
All right, Martin. So you should reap from where you sold, right? Thank you so much, Martin, for that observation. And let me go to you now, sir. What do you think? He's saying like the normal, maybe they don't do that anymore now. The Nigerian police, they don't blow siren. They do. But they do it abroad also.
In fairness to the Nigerian armed forces.
As we round up.
Yeah, they've tried. At least we know the insurgency, the battle against the insurgency is better. There's been a lot of achievements, but they should be more tactical in their approach. Like Shoyinka said, a tiger does not need to proclaim its tigrity.
Yes.
A tiger strikes,
yes,
and then you see the result. Let us see results before they start, and it's going to get better. So we should be more tactical in the approach to this, and we should know that this thing is dragging too long. You know, if you give too much to this, and it becomes another problem entirely. So I think they should better put up and do something more proactive in the battle against this insurgency. All right, and can you squeeze in a line?
Yes. Well, I want to praise the military for how much they've come, how much they've done, the victories they have got, but they should speak less and do more.
All right, Bola.
They should remember that the issue of Chibok girl is still there.
Yeah.
They should go after the Boko Haram. The remnants, the remaining remnants, of Boko Haram, they should go after them. Mark them down. Deliver, the territory to the federal government. And then Nigerians will now know that they've really won the war, not necessarily announce it before they go to the Septembeer forest. I won't agree with that.
Do you want to drop
Yeah, they've said it all. We are looking forward to fully securing all the territories of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the earlier we achieve that, the better.
All right, Shola Joseph.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bola Lajwa. Thank you so much. Charles Sidel, thank you so much. And for those that have got, thank you so much. And that's all on Journalist Hangout today. Join us next week for another episode of the program and watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I am Dakbo Aruajoye. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.